Hello everyone. I was just thinking about gang stalking and the organic portal theme mainly. But yeah, I guess gang stalking probably as equal. When the organic portal theme and the gang stalking theme or realities or occurrences become more, like famous, more, more viewed, more realized by more people, I think what they're going to do is, say it's fake news. Because that seems to be, a very effective way for them to null and void something out of the collective consciousness, and hence make this sort of cross-current, disconnected culture, from nature and the flow of, the light of and evolution of the universe. It's like a mass hallucination culture, that's what these social engineer type people have a lot of people under. Brainwash or body wash, and a complete sort of unconnected, I'd like to say, and in an eddy form, current flow dynamics, meaning, so like culture is like a mass hallucinatory eddy at the moment. It's like going left when the universe is going straight. Do you understand? It's like an eddy in a current on a river. And like it's not staying with nature enough. It's trying to become complete, like the ego. It's trying to become very separate and thinks it's separate. But say Yellowstone volcano blows up, there will go that culture. It'll, wake that culture up and bring it back into line with nature. Or maybe San Andreas fault line or something, or some massive tsunami wave from somewhere, like worse than what just happened in Japan. And that will, snap awaken a culture. But right now, I really see these cultures as kind of flying off the cliff, but not totally knowing how to fly. We're right in that part, but this is what happens when a culture goes to space. Meaning there is an eschatonalization process, or a process about any culture would go to the stars, or how they would go about that. There's going to be certain steps to be taken, and all this chaos and mayhem and stuff we see in the culture, the trivialization, making things trivial and unimportant and glib, is what the mainstream media is really good at. I don't want to say the heads of the culture, but it's almost like mainstream media is the heads of the culture, right? People's heads are tuned into it, their brains are locked onto the news, and that stuff is designed to make you go into the lower chakras, like the navel, and fear things like fear a lot, and lower vibration, and make you distracted, all sorts of things. It makes you have different thoughts on your nervous system than you otherwise would have. Anyway, I think what's going to happen is that mainstream media is going to, totally say, like, I could just see me being on there, or one of the organic portal channels that has a lot of organic portal videos, Because, well, who else are they going to pick from? They're going to pick from like my channel or another channel that has a lot of organic portal type videos, right? When it gets to, I don't know, 5 million views, 500,000 views, I don't know where. But at some point, you know, the mainstream media will go, oh, here's something we haven't covered. Perhaps, you know, I can see it on the news. People don't have souls. Or something, you know, or soulless humans, organic portal theory. And I can just see the news headline now, you know. And they'll have to pull from, you know, the websites like Montauk and what's the other one? Veil of Reality. And, you know, people like my channel and other channels out there, like really, I don't know, making headway into the phenomenon, you know, like uncovering it quite well, or apocalypting. And hey, it is the apocalypse. So if you're apocalypting something, you're uncovering the esoterics of it, basically, like the deep core parts of it. And yeah, that's what apocalypse means in Greek, to uncover. I think that's pretty much what's happening now at the end of history. All the stuff we avoided, because culture is not the mainstream, it's like a fake simulated mainstream. The actual mainstream is, you know, the natural flow of light and evolution of like intelligence. But they're the opposite. Have you noticed it's become cool to be dumb? Like just stupid. Newspeak is rife. Everything is ungood. You know what I mean? Culture's going that way though. This is glibalization. Glib, you know, like not sincere and short, myopic. When you really get into something, you discuss it, you know, and you get into it. You're not just having it, like right now, I could have just said this video in 1 minute if I was making it more glib, you know, less sincere into the knowledge. So not to lose you, but mainstream media seems to me like a fake simulated reality. You know, it's fake, simulated, and they're calling, you know, other people fake news now. And okay, it's all right, but you know, I can give some leeway there. Some people will probably comment about this, but the part I can't give leeway on is, you know, when they like can just press a button, and like how my Facebook probably went down. People probably just press fake news, haters, and it's really easy to do that. If you just press spam. This is a spam post or whatever. You know, people sit there and do this stuff, and I can just see it now. It's like, you know, Alex Jones, that conspiracy theorist. You know, it's funny that we're having Venezuelization talks on my channel about hyperinflation. You should just listen to my talk on ontology of inflation I did the other day too. It's to a next level of relation with the universe. It's not just, we're going into a Neolithic dark age. That's because we haven't prepared. We saw this coming for a long time. Many people have seen the end of the system coming, because it's a scarcity-based system, and there's certain things that you could predict that it wasn't an infinite system to begin with. You know, our monetary fiat counterfeited sort of system. And, you know, I know a lot of you know about, you know, changing to gold standard and blah, blah, blah. But I'm talking way deeper. Not on any level like that at all, you know, really the new earth being totally at a deeper level of exchange and barter, not being like a type of bad thing, in abundance. In a scarcity system, yeah, bartering is annoying. It's like, how many sheep for this goat or for this horse, you know, and it gets annoying in a scarcity-based system. But if you've got abundance, and you're doing it, you know, when we're able to mine minerals on asteroids and blah, blah, blah. We're all one, like, human culture called humanity. this is what is going to happen. You know, obviously all the rivers called the cultures are now ending in the ocean called humanity, because you're a human, you're not an American, you're not an Australian, you're not an Iranian, whatever you think you are. That's why I said in a video, or made a video, organic portals are nationalistic. They're like, go my country. No, you're a human, you tard. It's go everyone. You fucking retard. Honestly. Sorry, that had to be said, because this is fucking retarded. Are you spastic? You're not, your fucking culture. Anyway, so this video might get taken down for that. Whatever, I'll just say it again on another way in another video. You can't stop me. This light won't be stopped. So take it down. I'll just make it number 2 and say it all again. It's all very fresh in my mind, because, you know, we're going through it every day, and this is the apocalypse. It's for the next 11 7-year solar cycles. 77 years from 2012. 2089 will be a sort of return to nature. Thank God. And, you know, culture will then collapse into earth and convalesce properly. And I'd say the hangover of history, not just culture, of one culture or something, but the hangover of entire history, like we got drunk, will be hundreds of years, I think, like 500 years or something. But the return to nature will be, you know, the first really nice resonant downstep. You know, I'm talking in novelty. It'll be the nice first downstep into that energy of convalescence, gradual healing. It'll be the first major like hurdle on the track race. Anyway, so yeah, it's funny that they have this ability to call you fake news, and like they have the authority, but when we make a YouTube video and it's true about, I don't know, one of those news, you know, one of the mainstream news networks being fake, or putting out a fake story or something stupid, and it has happened, check. Go on YouTube and check it out, and or on Google. And when that happens, we can't just press a button. And so it's also an organic portal double standard. And I recently, I think yesterday, made that video, or a couple of days ago. Organic portal double standards. So there's a great example. I just realized, you know, we can't fake news them, but they can fake news us. Isn't that retarded? Come on, that is stupid. Sorry for saying retarded too many times. That was one too many. So, you know, you just had that Alex Jones. Remember years ago, like a decade ago, he came out with Endgame, Obama Deception, Police State, all those documentary length videos. And, you know, it's interesting because that's happening. And also he was saying, and this stuck in my mind from when he said it like 15 years ago, they want the elites, they want to put us in a Neolithic dark age. And that is what hyperinflation is. It's the initial stage. It's going to be part of culling a lot of people, a lot of you, not me. I know what to eat. I know all the plants to eat around me. Not everything everywhere all the time, but I'm getting better and getting more. And I think that's one focus we need to do, because the first thing is food. That's your first priority. Your first priority is not to build the spaceship. Your first priority is to get the food to start the brain to think about the spaceship, you know. So we've got to work it up in levels. You know, all of humanity doing permaculture is the first step, actually. Getting out of, I almost said it again, the R word, but stupid monoculture, you know. So yeah, it's like cool to be dumb and retarded these days, and that was an apt one, that R word. But it's you know, it's like cool to be retarded and, you know, dumb and, you know, act kind of really, really stupid, you know. And I'm not calling retarded people stupid, but you know what I mean, when you see someone going in a chair, you know what I mean? That's just why I use that word. But there's also the definition of what retardation actually is, which is like the withering of a neuron under mercury, you know, poisoning. That's a retardation of that neuron. So there's a non-derogatory term that I'm using actually. So you can't really put the profanity filter on, because it's just another word. And I'll definitely be arguing that if you try to take this video down, lol. Anyway, so it's like cool to be, you know, like simple and dumb and stupid and stuff, you know. People don't hold conversations that are deep in society, anywhere ever. A D&M, or a deep and meaningful conversation, is rare, isn't it? It's like at a drunk party. When you're drunk and you finally get over, you know, acting like a societal, cultural twit on Twitter. Twitter is for twits. When you finally loosen up, so to speak, off the tightening frequency controls of the matrix and societal norms of how to be and act and say. When you loosen up on that drunk night, you have a deep and meaningful with some mate, a friend or a girl or whatever. You know what I mean? And it's rare, you know, sorry, I lost my own track. But, you know, people in society, they don't have those deep, meaningful conversations. It's like maybe on the drunk nights, but that's what the core of every conversation should be about. Why? Not just because I want it to be that way, but because a culture of any, like a petri dish, whatever culture, aliens, your culture, humans, whatever, an animal, anything, a culture can't evolve faster than its communication ability, or as fast as it can communicate, it can evolve. And so when you have, you know, stupid talk instead of deep, meaning conversations like, hey, what are we going to do when the next asteroid comes for Earth? You know, because this stuff is inevitable. You know, we should all, well, no, not everyone should be working on that, but that should be the current in the mass mind at any given moment, rather than what is, I don't want to say any particular famous person's name, but what is, you know, so-and-so wearing, what is so-and-so pop star doing, you know, that all that stuff is completely meaningless. You know, it seems that it's meaningful only to those who don't have their own life force. They don't have their own real life. And, you know, ideas and stuff, they come from life force energy flowing through you. It's not called dead force energy. And that's why we nickname organic portals zombie people or zombies and sleepwalkers and so on. So these spiritless humans will do this stuff and be stupid till the sun burns down. Until the sun runs out. So no, we can't just leave them to their devices. This has to be all discussed. We have to do it properly, you know, and that's why I'm trying to always think about what actually is going on, and not just be too glib about it. I'm trying to actually dig into the theme. And what I think is going to happen here, because I think my the space is going to run out in a minute, so I've got to wrap up the video. What I think is going to happen is that, you know, the mainstream media is eventually going to get hold of the organic portal theme and completely mess it up, of course, like they do with everything. You give them anything and they'll be sure to make a mess of it. And how they'll do this is not just like misinformation or anything, but the glibness. They say, okay, we've discussed it, but really they didn't. You see how it works? They'll bring it in and it's gone already. Back to war, back to what's happening over in the Middle East and whatever, you know. Not saying that stuff is not important, but you get what I'm saying, right? They'll bring in like a theme that is, really important to understand that some people may not have souls. It's about as red pill as you can almost get, That's a big one. To realize people are self-spiritless and soulless, self-soulless. They belong to a 2D group soul only, these organic portals. That's a big epiphany. It's like if little green man walks up to you and shakes your hand, you're going to be like, okay, whoa. When you first find this out, it's like a bit of a stunner. And so what they'll do is they'll bring it there for a second and bang, it's gone. So they'll say, yeah, look, we discussed it. We're the mainstream media. We have all the good news, and anything that is news we have. But, they've done it so glibly, they have not really discussed it in a way that's made any difference. That's what they do. They don't actually make a difference with the coverage of these deep esoteric things. They usually just make fun of it and act very glib around it. Insincere, short talking, not deep, And so that's what I think is going to happen with the organic portal theme eventually. So it's going to be, as always, up to your own discernment, as usual. And I just wanted to say, expect this. I predict this now. It's 2019. Probably in a few years. It probably isn't that far away, because we are in maximum novelty domain now. I could see it being discussed pretty soon. And look out for it. And that they'll try and call it fake news. Maybe even someone will come out with like a theory that's bamboozling, but doesn't actually get to any core centrism. Like, I can just imagine or predict them coming up with a theory that, oh no, look, everybody has a soul because of this. And look, this is why. But then it won't be a proper pathway to the core centric answer, or the deepest part of it. And that's what I think they're going to do. Like, totally make it glib and surface and not deep. All right, Benjamin Cowenberg, consciousazine.net. Look out for the mainstream media to stuff it up again.